a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for God's own possession, so that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who has called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. My title for today is Chosen, but if I were to add a subtitle, it would be, I know who I am.
All right now.
This quote has stuck with me all week. It says, if you don't get out there and define yourself, you'll be quickly and accurately defined by others. This quote comes from our forever First Lady, Michelle Obama. And the quote presses on something real, because if you don't know who you are, life will start labeling you based on what you've been through, what you've done, and what people think about you. And if that danger is that if you hear those labels long enough, you'll be starting living beneath who you were created to be. But there comes a moment when you've got to make up in your mind, I will not let people name me. I will not let culture define me, and I'm going to stand on who God made me to be. In 1 Peter, Peter writes to the believers who are facing social rejection, pressure, and persecution because of their faith in Jesus. Throughout chapter 2, he reminds them that though you may feel like outsiders in the world, they are being built up into his spiritual house, that Christ as their cornerstone. But at the time when we reach 1 Peter 2 and 9, Peter shifts from suffering to identity, declaring who they are in God despite how they're being treated by their culture. This verse serves as a powerful affirmation that their value, their calling, and their purpose are not rooted in their circumstances, but in God's sovereign choice in his redemptive work. So, my sisters on today, and some of my brothers, we know who we are because we are selected, we are set apart, and we are sent. Now let me prove it to you. The Bible says we are a chosen race. Your version might say a chosen generation, which lets us know that we are selected, which means it wasn't by accident. We were set here for a purpose and chosen with a intention. So that means before any mistakes, your failures, your past, your disappointments, your lows, and your blows, God had already made his choice about you. God chose you despite of you because he loves you. We can all sleep well at night knowing that that job may have rejected you. Those friends may have rejected you. No matter your age or ability, though, God says he knew you before you were born in your mother's womb. So turn to your neighbor and say, I'm selected.
I'm selected.
But not only are we selected, we are set apart. Peter says we are a royal priesthood, which means he is blending together the royalty and kingship. We know that kings came from Judah, but the priests came from Levi. But back then, we couldn't have both. But now we have both the access and the authority. We are saved, and we have some benefits that other folks don't have.
Talk, Britt.
We are set apart because we have authority, but we also have the access since we are God's chosen people. In other words, we are a peculiar people. We are not like everybody else. We are bought with the price and purchased by love. So yes, we are different. Yes, we look, we talk, we act different. Because God didn't choose us to blend in. He chose us to stand out for his glory. I'm almost done. But not only are we selected, we are set apart because we are being sent. God never blesses us just for us. He selects us, he sets us apart, and he sends us out to bless somebody else. So if he brought you out of something, if he changed your life, you ought to give him some glory. Okay, give him some glory. Hey! If he made a way out for you, you ought to show up some place. Because he brought us out of darkness into his marvelous light. So turn to your neighbor and say, I know who I am.
I know who I am.
Turn to the other neighbor and say, I know who I am.
I know who I am.
In conclusion, before I close, I want to take you back to the beginning of my teaching journey. And this is personal for me because I'm also thinking about back to high school, and math was a struggle for me. I struggled so much that I failed Algebra 1. And I was an athlete, so I had to sit out a semester. It felt like an embarrassment, and I was a failure on paper. So fast forward, I went to college and decided I wanted to be a teacher because of my love for kids. And it was my final year, which means I had to go to the classroom to student teach. My supervising advisor observed me, and at the lesson she told my mentor that I was not set out to teach. She said my voice was too soft. And she said kids wouldn't be able to learn from me. Now fast forward, I'm teaching my first year, 4th grade math. And I thought I was on the right track, but at this time I was struggling a little bit, and of course I'm a classroom teacher. So word got around that my principal wanted to fire me. My students weren't learning, they weren't performing at the way they needed to be. So, and then she also said that my voice was too low. That was about the issue of it. And hearing me from my students was it was causing the struggle for them. But someone from the district stepped in and chose to mentor me. She saw something in me that my principal couldn't see. She saw me trying. She saw me refusing to give up. And she went to my principal and said, just give her a little bit more time. She's going to get it. She's going to be good. Now fast forward to 2024. I know we're in 2026, but this happened in 2024. If you look up a certificate, go on teachers look up, and you will see that Brittany Gaines Hall is a master math teacher. My students assessed in mathematics, I am one of the top 3% teachers in the state of Texas. And so I knew I was selected, I knew I was sent, and I knew I was set apart, and I'm living in this marvelous life. Now my principal sends me out to help other struggling classes and struggling teachers. And every June and August, I receive recognition. You can figure out what that means because I know who I am, and I know what